Okay, I finally got this engine flipped over. I pulled the one little freeze plug out of it to drain more of the coolant out. That probably would have helped me a lot before I pulled the heads, but that's really the only good spot. You can see why I fully undressed it before putting it on the stand, because that thing is hurting, and this thing doesn't really weigh anything, so I gotta really undo this because it's not it's barely holding on there. It's pretty sketchy, actually. I'll probably flip this thing back over before I'm done for the day. I'm gonna get this thing completely undressed so I can get rid of the block and keep all my parts for the new one. So here I'm gonna take the oil pan off. It should all be 10 millimeters with a couple 13 millimeters where the harness bolts to. Just pull these out with the impact. Pull it off, inspect for any metal shavings or anything in the bottom of the pan. Then we'll pull the pickup tube off and the windage tray oil pan gasket. And we get the oil pump off. Now with all that apart, we'll start pulling the rods and pistons out. So we'll just take the caps off, making sure that we note the direction of it, and then we'll bang the rods out with the back end of a hammer. Use the wooden side, that way you don't damage the rod. And make sure that you put each rod cap back with the rod in the same exact direction, or else you'll have issues later on. Here I'm taking the side bolts out of the main cap, so it should all be 13 millimeters. Once again, we'll pull those out with the impact gun. No issue there. And we start taking the bolts off the main caps themselves. Then we'll pull the rear cover off. To get the rear cover off, it kind of sucks when it's on the stand because you don't have any room, but you just use a 8 millimeter and a wrench and those will come right out. So yesterday I thought that the little bit of crank play in here was an issue, but I looked up and I guess 10 thou is within spec, so that's not even an issue. So I mean, I still gotta pull the main caps off, but all the journals look good for the rods, and it spins great. So I really don't think there's anything wrong with the engine itself. But engine's almost completely torn down. Get this crank out of here, pull the studs out and stuff. Alright, well, thank God this is finally over. I can get the new engine back onto the engine cart or engine stand and start working on this. I gotta find some boxes for all the old parts and sort through the bolts and stuff, but she's finally all torn down, and I can start picking up a little bit because this place is now a mess. But it's time to actually start building the engine. Hopefully tomorrow I can start getting the rings all gapped and stuff, so I'll show some videos on that. And yeah, I got one more package to come in so I can bolt the crank in, but that's all I'm really waiting for. And then, you know, maybe I'll get a blower by then. Probably not, because I'm too cheap to buy one at full price, but she'll be back together and she should make some pretty good power. A guy in Louisiana drove all the way to Houston to meet me, which was pretty much in the middle, and I got myself a block. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be a Gen 2 block, which it's not, and it was supposed to be ready to be put together, which it also is not. Which I got it for a halfway reasonable price. I'm not super happy about it because it's not what I wanted, but it's not terrible, and it only needs slight work to be put back together. But not only did I get a block, I did get a whole set of forged manly connecting rods and MMR manly pistons. I got ARP bolts that don't fit that motor, which I need to go through right after this video to see if I can't convince ARP to send me the right head studs. The total seal rings, which I believe this entire piece is a kit with the Manley rods, MMR pistons, and the rings. I have an MMR billet oil pump gear, which I already have in that thing, but now I have another one, which I already have these head studs too, which kind of sucks that I have both of the wrong head studs. And then I have some Cleevite rod bearings, which is pretty nice. So unfortunately the main bearings aren't super perfect, and he never gave me the side bolts to the main bearings, so I need to buy some new main bearings and some new main bolts for it. But I'm gonna give that thing a hone, get this thing sent out and get balanced and put that thing together. And I also have another surprise for you guys. Not only one, but two. The second one you're gonna have to wait for because I don't have it yet. But this first surprise is pretty sick. It's this Texas street legal drift flag that I'm gonna hang on my wall. It's gonna be pretty wild. Nah, I'm just kidding. That's not it. It's pretty sick, but that's not the real deal. I have another Coyote block in the trunk of the car, which is also missing the side bolts. But it is a 2011 Coyote block. It does need a hone and probably needs a little bit more work, but I'm going to try to save it as much as I can. So this block, what the plan is, as it is I'm going to put all the old junk out of this thing in that block, and I will have a short block to go into the drift car. So I don't really know when that's going to go in because the street legal series doesn't allow me to do that, but I really would like the power on the car, and I think it'd be way more fun to do. And I could run Pro-Am series, but they're running nasty ass cars in that group, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do. But anyways, at the end of it, I'm gonna have another short block that I can put in something. If it's not this drift car, it'll go in something else, or I'll sell it for more nasty parts for this thing or this thing. Who knows? Grace has no idea. She's just sniffing everything. Shit's wild. It's crazy. But yeah, lots of big plans here in the next little bit. I'm searching around because I don't really know people around here to get this thing honed and get everything balanced. But hopefully I can get that done soon, and I can get that back in the car, back running, because that would be pretty friggin' sweet. So I guess you guys are probably sick of listening to me talk, and that's really all I have for you today. At least this will be a lot of less editing, even though I talk like an idiot. I'm not going to edit that out because I want you guys to know how I actually am, and that's how I'll talk to you in person. I'm pretty much an idiot. But still unbelievable with the car. The car did great. Couldn't have asked anything more for the car. It was doing third gear, sideways, off the limiter, in the rain, ready to go. The roof, like, didn't even leak. All the moldings flew off. Who cares? It is just honestly awesome. And the Kenda tires, I only burned through one set of tires that was already halfway gone through. And then I switched to a new set, and it was raining, so I didn't even burn those through. And the ones that I burned through are still good for burnouts. You don't need to worry about those belts showing. There's still plenty of life right here, right here. She's good to go. More burnouts to come, more fuckery to come, more blocks, engine builds, swaps, whatever. There's going to be a lot more to come, and hopefully you guys keep watching because I don't really stop, and hopefully I'll actually get some time to edit these videos because I can't find time to sit around and do it. Alright, have a good one. talk to you guys later.